greatest playwright. William Shakespeare is considered to be the greatest English dramatist and poet. Plays written in blank verse with some prose can be broadly divided into lyric plays, comedies, historical plays, and tragedies. He also wrote numerous sonnets. 154 sonnets were written by William Shakespeare. He was born in Stratford-on-Avon, the son of a wool dealer. He was educated at the grammar schools and in 1582 married Anne Hathaway. By 1592, Shakespeare was established in London as an actor and a dramatist. And from 1594, he was an important member of Lord Chamberlain's company of actors. Shakespeare was the leading playwright of the company and one of the business director. He also continued to act. About 1593, he came under the patronage of Earl of Southampton, to whom he dedicated his long poems and seems to have dedicated to his sonnets written around 1593 to 1596. William Shakespeare fell in love with Mary Fitton. William Shakespeare fell in love with Mary Fitton, who used to sing William Shakespeare songs and sonnets. This lady, Mary Fitton, is known as the Dark Lady. Some critics believe that all the sonnets of William Shakespeare are written for the Dark Lady who got married to Earl of Southampton. She got married with Earl of Southampton because Earl of Southampton was rich and William Shakespeare was poor. So this is a very, very important aspect over here, and that is why he became a poet. Some critics believe that all the sonnets of William Shakespeare are written for the Dark Lady who got married to Earl of Southampton. In this triangular love, the poor was left behind, and the rich, Earl of Southampton, was adorned with a garland of loving knot of Mary Fitton. Thus, the mysterious Dark Lady appears in almost all of the sonnets of William Shakespeare. This mysterious Dark Lady, Mary Fitton, appears in almost all of the sonnets of William Shakespeare. He retired to Stratford-on-Avon about 1610 and died on 23rd April 1616. He was buried in the chances of Holy Trinity, Stratford-on-Avon. The poem Let Me Know to the Marriage of True Minds, sonnet number 116, is written according to typical Shakespearean sonnets in iambic pentameter with 3 quatrains and a concluding couplet. There are 7 rhymes with a typical Shakespearean organization. The line 1 to 4 of the poem, Let Me Know to the Marriage of True Minds, the poet wants to say that the love which alters, when it alteration finds or bands with the remover to remove, is not true and sublime love. The poet wants to establish platonic and ideal love, the true love, the faithful, the sincere, the devoted, the dedicated love. The line 5 to 8 of the poem, oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempest is never shaken. It is like the star to every wandering bark, the worth of which is unknown, all its height is taken. Line number 9 to 12 of the poem, love is not time's fool, although rosy lips and cheeks. That means, दिल को देखो चेहरा ना देखो चेहरे ने लाखों को लूटा दिल सच्चा और चेहरा झूठा. The line 9 to 12 of the poem, love is not time's fool, all the rosy lips and rosy cheeks come within. His time's bending shackles compass, love alternates with his brief hours and few weeks, and few months or few years, but bears it out even to the age of dooms. A person should not be attracted by the complexion, fair complexion, facial features, and colors of an individual. One must not pay more attention to rosy lips and rosy cheeks, but to the purity of mind, purity of heart, purity of thought, and purity of understanding, mutual understanding. The behavior, positive attitude, social, moral, cultural, ethical values are important than the fair complexion, than the rosy cheeks and the rosy lips. What is important? The behavior, good behavior, positive attitude, social values, moral values, cultural values, ethical values, and the values of understanding each other is important than this fair complexion. The true, sublime, pure, platonic, ideal love cannot alter within brief hours, days, weeks, months, and years, but it bears it out even to the doomsday. The line 13 to 14 of the poem, that is a couplet. It defines, it tells us, if this be an error and upon me proved. William Shakespeare is emphasizing, if this be an error and upon me proved, then I never writ, nor no man ever loved. That means I have not written anything. He says it cannot be altered like we alter the dress and the uniform. हम कॉलेज में जाते हैं और आज कोरोना काल में तो सुबह अभी 2 घंटे के लिए भी बाहर जाते हैं तो ड्रेस को निकालते हैं और वापस धो डालते हैं और ख़राब हो जाती है, फेंक देते हैं, नई ड्रेस खरीद लेते हैं. दिस इज़ नॉट लाइक दैट. सो इट कैन नॉट बी ऑल्टर्ड लाइक वी ऑल्टर द ड्रेस or we alter the uniform. The uniform which you put on in schools, you will be changing that school uniform and now you will be putting on MBB college dress. Because you are altering the dress, but you should not alter the truth. It must not be taken simply as a pastime, as a time pass. In the couplet of the poem, the sonneteer has emphasized that if any person in the world can prove that the concept of the poet is wrong, then he is emphasizing that he did not write anything. 154 sonnets and 37 plays are not written by him, and no man in this on this earth loved anybody. My dear students, in this poem, the poet's idealistic notion, love is taken as existing beyond the reach of mortality and mutability, which all devouring time causes. Let me not to the marriage of true minds or true love is one such vigorous sonnets of the Shakespeare in celebration of love and its triumph over time, animated with poet's exalted idealism of love. This sonnet expresses unequivocally his faith in power of love to stand against all odds, including the mighty weeks of time. A finely, very well conceived and rightly executed work as it is. The sonnet specifies Shakespeare's single genius as a sonneteer. The central theme of the poem is enabled by Shakespeare's concept of true love. It echoes his deep conviction in the mutable and indestructible strength of love. True love admits no impediments and no altars, not with alterations of time or situation. It does not bend and break down under the pressure of situations. It does not bend and break out under the pressure of situation. It is ever fixed mark and steady, does not deviate from its constant devotion, and serves to guide like the pole star in the sky that keeps on guiding about all the direction. When you are facing towards pole star, at your back you will be seeing that south direction. Towards your right hand will be the east, towards your left hand will be the west. जब आप देखते हैं कि ध्रुव तारा उत्तर में निकलता है, जब उत्तर में ध्रुव तारा अगर निकलेगा तो उसकी तरफ आप जब देख रहे होंगे तो फिर पीठ के पीछे दक्षिण होगा, ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में. और राइट हैंड साइड में आपका when you are looking at the pole star in the sky that keeps on guiding about the all directions, when you are facing towards the pole star at your back will be the south directions, towards your right hand will be the east, and towards your left hand will be the west. Thus, as the pole star keeps on guiding us, the same way the true parents, the true teachers, the true friend, the true lover, any form, will be guiding us in all odds and events. When we are in the mid of the sea, looking in the sky towards North Pole Star, then the pole star and the lighthouse keeps on guiding us about the uncharted life at sea. The rough storms of fortune fails to shake it in the least. It remains as it were ever a beacon light on the tempestuous journey of life. Thus, the theme of the sonnet contains the poet's inspired idealism of love. True love is firm, unchangeable, and ever dedicated, but this is not the only matter treated here. The sonnet marks also the idealistic concepts of the superiority of love to the rough hands of time. The well-known the well-known time the well-known time love theme of Shakespeare's sonnet is here presented precisely with his idealism of love. Time, no doubt, kills youth and beauty. Time undoubtedly kills youth and the beauty. The beauty cannot keep her lustrous eyes, but love is not time's fool, and its loyalty or fidelity remains unaffected by the swift and continuous flow of time. In fact, in William Shakespeare's or the poet's bold assertion, love remains even to the edge of doom. The poet remarkably perceives and asserts the power of his words to stand and prove the triumph of his love. Indeed, the sonnet, Let Me Not to the Marriage of True Minds, is a lofty praise of love as a sacred principles of living. The poet's deep devotion to love as a high virtue of life is fully borne out here. The inspiring motive is the idealizations of the constancy of love. And this is done by the poet's positive emphasis. Love is not time's fool. I told you last time, you are coming to the college, my dear students. I welcome you in the college, but you come to study in the college. And you love your studies deeply, devotedly, with sublimity. Indeed, love becomes triumphant in the poet's voice, and it is turned into a solace of life that restores all losses and vitalizes all feelings. The poet is impelled with his triumphant hope for the immortality of his art, intending for preserving forever his love. As a matter of fact, from the thematic standpoint, the sonnet is a rich specimen of Shakespeare's thought. Precious poetry is the treasure house of precious thought. So the students, as a matter of fact, from the thematic standpoint, the sonnet is a rich specimen of Shakespeare's thoughts, reflection, noble sentiments, high ideas, and sublimity. But it is no less rich in craftsmanship, which has given its sonnets a particular grace, a dignified and elevated quality. In imagery and melody, there is a perfect uniqueness in the sonnet, seldom found here elsewhere. The poet's concept of triumph of love over time as well presented by his lively and presentation of time and love. Love is not time's fool, the rosy lips and cheeks. Within his bending sickles compass come. The metaphor implied here is very happily conceived, and equally happy is the poet personification of both love and time. The expression, the edge of doom, serves to intensify the effect of the metaphoric charm. The imagery of love as an ever-fixed mark on the uncertainty of life and comparison of love to a star to every wandering bark reveals the poet's highly imaginative potency. Here again, the metaphoric effect is well implied in the expressions wandering bark. The characteristic Shakespearean sonnet structure with 3 quatrains and a couplet is quite fallaciously employed here. The idea of the terms of love is precisely but quite coherently given out in the 3 quatrains with the right pause between them. The concluding couplet contains the poet's confidence in the power of his verse to perpetuate true love. The sonnet has, in the manner of a typical Shakespearean sonnet, 7 rhymes with a simple and happily chosen poetic diction, and a melody that is well balanced with the poet's idealistic mood and wonderful imagery. The meter used is iambic pentameter. In fact, a total impression of very high art remains in the ultimate additions of the sonnet, that is thematically noble and technically high. The sonnet is addressed to the poet's girlfriend. His best friend is Mary Fitton, the dark lady. In praise of the high ideal of love, it celebrates the lofty idealism of the true love, which is never shaken or shattered by adverse forces or under the pressure of circumstances. It remains ever devoted and steady and is the very inspiration of life. Of course, time is mighty cruel destroyer and ravages youth and beauty ruthlessly, yet love is no slave for a subjugated to time. It even has the power to sign against the black doom that time causes. It does not change with the change of time, but preserves its constancy and devotion all through. William Shakespeare's subject here is the true love, the platonic love, the idealistic love, and not his own love exclusively. The subjective love seems to have become the objective love. The poet speaks of his ideal platonic love of Mary Fitton. The dark lady was desired. The dark lady was desired in a very high spirit by the poet to make her dream girl. The poet has immortalized his true love in such a way that the whole world is being inspired and motivated for this kind of perfection-oriented love. The whole world is remembered. The whole world is remembering the poets and the dark lady love like the seven wonders of the world. He idolizes true love as a very high principle that guides, motivates, inspires, steers, and safely leads one to achieve the goal of one's life. My dear students, I would like to conclude now. At last, I would like to conclude that sonnets were first written in Italian and were traditionally love poems. Though the sonnet is a form that can be experimented with, it has remained true to its original length of 14 lines and its anglicized meter of iambic pentameter. Petrarch developed the sonnet to one of the highest level during early Renaissance Italy, but it was not translated into English until the 16th century. William Shakespeare made the sonnet famous in England, and others followed its lead. A sonnet can be helpful. A sonnet can be helpful when writing about emotions that are difficult to articulate. It is a short poem. Hopefully, you will find yourself saying things you didn't know you were going to say, didn't know you could say, but that give you a better understanding of the emotions that drive the writing of the poem in the modern age. We find that Curtal sonnets are being written by Gerard Manley Hopkins, Sir Philip Sidney, Samuel Daniel Hanley, Constable Thomas Lodge, Thomas Watson, Michael Drayton, Edmund Spenser, William Wordsworth, Petrarch, Yacht, and Surrey were also great sonneteers. They have also written the great sonnets. My dear students, this is about the sonnets, William Shakespeare sonnets, which we have interacted today. I hope all of you understood. Please go to the MBB College website and download that and start reading and make your own idea about it. I will ask you some of the questions when the examination will be conducted. So thank you very much to all of you. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आज के लिए बस इतना ही. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सभी का.